Well, happy Monday, everyone. Surprise! It's Pastor Mark. We haven't seen each other for a long time. I hope you're doing well. Well, today we're going to be in Genesis chapter 27, at least the first 40 verses. And in this scene with which the narrative comes, there are four members of the cast that we will look at. Esau, Jacob, the brothers, and Isaac and Rebekah, the mom and dad. And all four of them in our reading today are going to act very man-centered as opposed to God-centered, which they all should have been. Hi, I am Pastor Mark Scales with Heights Christian Church. We are going through the Bible in 5 years, and we've done it once, we're going to do it again. And so we're starting off again in Genesis. So I hope you are enjoying your reading. I hope this has become a habit to you and that you read right along with us on a daily basis. So let's read Genesis 27, at least the first 40 verses. When Isaac was old and his eyes were so weak that he could no longer see, he called for Esau, his older son, and said to him, "My son." "Here I am," he answered. Isaac said, "I am now an old man and don't know the day of my death. Now then, get your equipment, your quiver and bow, and go out to the open country to hunt some wild game for me. Prepare me the kind of tasty food I like and bring it to me to eat, so that I may give you my blessing before I die." Now Rebekah was listening as Isaac spoke to his son Esau. When Esau left for the open country to hunt game and bring it back, Rebekah said to her son, Jacob, "Look, I overheard your father say to your brother Esau, 'Bring me some of your game and prepare me some tasty food to eat so that I may give you my blessing in the presence of the Lord before I die.' Now, my son, listen carefully and do what I tell you. Go out to the flock and bring me 2 choice young goats so I can prepare some tasty food for your father just the way he likes it. Then take it to your father to eat, so that he may give you his blessing before he dies." Jacob said to Rebekah's mother, "My brother Esau is a hairy man, while I have smooth skin. What if my father touches me? I would appear to be tricking him and would bring down a curse on myself rather than a blessing." And his mother said to him, "My son, let the curse fall on me. Just do what I say. Go and get them for me." So he went and got them and brought them to his mother, and she prepared some tasty food, just the way his father liked it. Then Rebekah took the best clothes of Esau, her older son, which she had in the house, and put them on her younger son, Jacob. She also covered his hands and the smooth part of his neck with the goatskins. Then she handed to her son Jacob the tasty food and the bread she had made. He went to his father and said, "My father." "Yes, my son," he answered. "Who is it?" Jacob said to his father, "I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Please sit up and eat some of my game, so that you may give me your blessing." Isaac asked his son, "How did you find it so quickly, my son?" "The Lord your God gave me success," he replied. Then Isaac said to Jacob, "Come near so I can touch you, my son, to know whether you really are my son Esau or not." Jacob went close to his father Isaac, who touched him and said, "The voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau." He did not recognize him, for his hands were hairy like those of his brother Esau. So he proceeded to bless him. "Are you really my son Esau?" he asked. "I am," he replied. Then he said, "My son, bring me some of your game to eat, so that I may give you my blessing." Jacob brought it to him, and he ate, and he brought some wine, and he drank. Then his father Isaac said to him, "Come here, my son, and kiss me." So he went to him and kissed him. When Isaac caught the smell of his clothes, he blessed him and said, "Ah, the smell of my son is like the smell of a field that the Lord has blessed. May God give you heaven's dew and the earth's richness, an abundance of grain and new wine. May nations serve you and peoples bow down to you. Be Lord over your brothers, and may the sons of your mother bow down to you. May those who curse you be cursed, and those who bless you be blessed." After Isaac finished blessing him, and Jacob had scarcely left his father's presence, his brother Esau came in from hunting. He too prepared some tasty food and brought it to his father. Then he said to him, "My father, please sit up and eat some of my game so that you may give me your blessing." His father Isaac asked him, "Who are you?" "I am your son," he answered, "your firstborn, Esau." Isaac trembled violently and said, "Who was it then that hunted game and brought it to me? I ate it just before you came, and I blessed him, and indeed he will be blessed." When Esau heard his father's words, he burst out with a loud and bitter cry and said to his father, "Bless me too, my father." He said, "Your brother came deceitfully and took your blessing." Esau said, "Isn't he rightly named Jacob? This is the second time he has taken advantage of me. He took my birthright, and now he has taken my blessing." Then he asked, "Haven't you reserved any blessing for me?" Isaac answered Esau, "I have made him lord over you, and have made all his relatives his servants, and I have sustained him with grain and new wine. So what can I possibly do for you, my son?" Esau said to his father, "Do you have only one blessing, my father? Bless me too, my father." Then Esau wept aloud. His father Isaac answered him, "Your dwelling will be away from the earth's richness, away from the dew of heaven above. You will live by the sword, and you will serve your brother. But when you grow restless, you will throw his yoke off from your neck." Wow. What a mess we have here. We have all four of them. First of all, we have Isaac here, who he knows the prophecy that the younger will be over the older. And that that's what God's intention was. But yet, Isaac is trying to supplant that by blessing Esau. And then you have Rebecca listening in and making her plan of attack for how her younger son, Jacob, would get the blessing. And then you have Jacob being very culpable. He's worried about getting caught rather than actually lying to his father and saying, "Yes, I'm Esau." And then you have Esau himself, who he knew he gave up his birthright for a bowl of porridge earlier in his life, yet he still thought he could have his way. And so all four of them are acting very deceitfully against each other, against God's plan, and even upon their own actions. All four of them, this is a very dysfunctional family. We have favorites being allowed from children. We have no one trusting each other. I mean, this is a tough thing. And the trouble is that every single one of them are very man-centered, not God-centered. God was supposed to use this seed, Isaac being the very seed of Abraham, so that they would grow into a huge nation and that they would be a blessing to all the other nations. This is what God's intention. He revealed it to Abraham. He revealed it to Isaac. Yet all of them are acting in such a way like the world does. Let's lie and get around and blame others for what's going on, trying to get it done in man's way rather than God's way. Now, obviously, God works his way anyway, because no matter what man has tried to do, God's will is still achieved. This is one of the things that's amazing about God. Even though the choices we make are wrong, God's will is still achieved. It may not go the way he had planned, but his will is always achieved. And God is faithful. So, my friends, let me just encourage you today. Let me give you some encouraging words. That you be God-centered and not man-centered. Yes, we can get distracted at times, but if you can operate your life based on God and his teachings and his promises and his faithfulness, then things will go much better for you. We've got a long, drawn-out plan, and there is lots of intrigue going on. We see later on Jacob, all this stuff comes back to haunt him in many ways. So, please, for all that is holy, be God-centered and not man-centered. Those are my encouraging words for you today. Happy Monday. And you know what? We will be talking to you tomorrow.